In a dramatic development that underscores the deepening fractures within the British Conservative Party, former Tory Minister Maria Caulfield has officially announced her defection to Nigel Farage's Reform UK, marking yet another high-profile blow to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's increasingly embattled government. Caulfield, who until recently served as a health minister and was once regarded as a loyal Conservative figure, rose to national prominence as one of the key faces of the government's tense and protracted standoff with health unions over pay disputes during the height of the National Health Service's (NHS) industrial unrest. Her move follows hot on the heels of Danny Kruger, a shadow minister and influential Conservative voice, who only days earlier declared that the Conservative Party was effectively over as he too crossed the floor to join Reform. Together, these defections are being interpreted by political observers as a sign that Reform UK, long dismissed by critics as a populist protest party, is rapidly transforming into a formidable political force capable of reshaping Britain's right-of-centre politics. Maria Caulfield's defection carries particular symbolic weight. As a health minister, she was not merely a backbencher or a marginal figure in the Conservative hierarchy. Caulfield played a crucial role in the government's negotiations with NHS unions, becoming a visible spokesperson during a period marked by widespread strikes, public frustration, and intense debates over the funding and future of the country's beloved health service. For months, she defended government policy in front of television cameras, in Parliament, and in private negotiations, often serving as the human face of the Conservative stance on pay restraint and fiscal responsibility. That someone so closely identified with the Conservative approach to healthcare disputes would now abandon the party is being seen as an unmistakable vote of no confidence in the government's direction and competence. Her departure will sting not only because of the political optics but because of the expertise and institutional memory she takes with her, knowledge that could prove valuable to Reform as it seeks to present itself as a credible alternative on issues of public services and cost of living pressures. The timing of Caulfield's move could hardly be worse for the Conservatives. The party is already reeling from a string of local election defeats, dismal polling numbers, and an internal civil war over strategy and ideology. Prime Minister Sunak, struggling to unite a fractious party after years of turbulence under Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, now faces the nightmare scenario of a growing exodus of MPs and party activists to a rival on his right flank. Reform UK, originally founded as the Brexit Party under Farage's leadership, has steadily gained ground by positioning itself as the authentic voice of Brexiteers who feel betrayed by what they see as the Conservatives. For Nigel Farage, these defections are nothing short of a political coup. Farage has long been one of the most influential figures in modern British politics despite never winning a seat in Parliament. His leadership in the Brexit campaign helped fundamentally reshape Britain's relationship with Europe and reorient the political landscape. With Reform UK, he has sought to build on that legacy by offering voters a populist alternative to what he characterises as the stale and complacent Westminster establishment. The arrival of figures like Caulfield and Kruger lends his party a newfound legitimacy, signalling that it is no longer merely a vehicle for protest votes but a serious contender capable of attracting experienced politicians with government credentials. The implications for the next general election are profound. The Conservative Party, already facing the strong possibility of a Labour landslide, must now contend with the threat of vote splitting on its right. Even a relatively small swing of voters to Reform could cost the Conservatives dozens of marginal seats, particularly in Brexit-supporting regions of England where Reform's message resonates most strongly. Political analysts are warning that the Tories could be headed for an electoral wipeout reminiscent of the Canadian Progressive Conservatives in the early 1990s, who were decimated by the rise of a right-wing populist alternative. Reform does not necessarily need to win a large number of seats to be influential. Even a modest but strategically distributed share of the vote could deny the Conservatives victory in critical battlegrounds, paving the way for a dominant Labour government under Keir Starmer. Caulfield's personal journey from a senior government role to the benches of a populist insurgent party also highlights the ideological fluidity of modern British politics. Once a staunch defender of Conservative health policy, she now aligns herself with a party that criticises the very establishment she once represented. In her defection statement, she emphasized the need for real change, citing the Conservatives' failure to control immigration, deliver on economic growth, and uphold the spirit of Brexit as key reasons for her move. While some critics accuse her of opportunism, others see her decision as reflective of a wider frustration among Tory MPs who feel their party has lost its sense of purpose. Labour, meanwhile, is likely to benefit from the turmoil. Party strategists will welcome anything that further fractures the Conservative vote, making it easier for Keir Starmer to secure a commanding majority. However, Labour will also be watching reforms rise with caution. While a split right-wing vote works to Labour's advantage in the short term, the growing popularity of populist nationalism could complicate Starmer's efforts to govern if reform emerges as a powerful voice of opposition.